Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action. What is up, everybody? We are live on YouTube tonight for you guys. We are the boys from Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. I am Dan. I'm joined by Scott. And I'm joined by Lucas. Rob is on his way somewhere. He's probably just fixing his mask somewhere before he joins us. But boys, how are you feeling for the first ever live stream on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel?
Yeah, it's live, isn't it? Sucks. There's always problems.
This is the thing with live TV, boys. You know, it's nowhere to hide, I guess, with this stuff for us. Yeah, we're going to obviously try and mind our P's and Q's. If anything does pop out, then we will apologise at the top of the show. You know, we obviously don't have a bleep button as such, but we will try and be good boys and be on our best behaviour for you guys. So, yeah, how have you boys been? Any plans for the rest of the evening? Scott, you doing any cooking tonight?
Yeah, there'll be a bit of cooking. We'll see how it goes. I guess, yeah, this is weird, isn't it? Like, this is just going to be bit of a laid-back chat between a few of us, hyping ourselves up for Mania. If people want to join us and have fun, then great. But yeah, I've got my beer ready and ready to just hang out with my mates. Really.
Yeah,
it'd be cool.
It's one of those strange things, isn't it? Like it's nothing like what we've done before. So,
and there's a first time for everything, so I'm sure.
Exactly. So yeah, obviously, like we're obviously in the build up to Fastlane now, and yeah, obviously, as I say, we're just waiting on one more, and then hopefully.
I'm a bit bright here, aren't I?
Yeah, mate.
Whoa.
Where are you? Whereabouts are you in the world then? If you're really bright, we're quite dark, so we're actually like playing up to the whole like we're in the UK kind of thing. So.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to pretend I'm in another country. I'm what?
He's gone over to Florida to visit them.
It's trying to get in the trying to get a tan, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited about the show. Don't really know what to expect. I think there's quite a lot of matches now, isn't there? So we're going to go through, I guess, our predictions already and updated predictions. If we ever get Rob here, if not, he can send them in, I guess, in the chat.
Yeah, don't forget if anyone does want to leave messages, you can do so in the chat box. And yeah, we're obviously we are gonna be hopefully entertaining you guys a little bit throughout the next sort of like hour and a half or so in the build up to Fastlane, going into the pre-show a little bit. Obviously, we don't know if there is anything booked on the pre-show at the moment, so.
Yeah, I'm not sure if any of the matches that are on the card, what's most likely to get bumped. Women's tag, maybe? Maybe the the US. Possibly. I reckon the US.
US has got pre-show at Margaret, hasn't it, surely?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that I think they are saying that there's a possibility that Ali could split up with Retribution, or Retribution could just disband as a team altogether. In the not too distant future, so
surely
who knows from there. So
this match, for me, one of those where either they've got to split up and just obviously go the separation, it never gets mentioned again, or he wins a championship and they're actually going to do something to salvage it. But I think it's just too late.
Imagine if it is on the pre-show and they split up on the pre-show, like after all the hype they got, and then Retribution split up on the pre-show. It'd be mad.
Well, it's their own fault. We spoke about this so many times, haven't we, over the park and the year of doing these, and it's just got worse. Like that's the problem with it. Like it just got worse, and you know now it is a case of it's make or break time. Either end it, or do something properly with it. Because Ali is talented. You've got obviously Shane Thorne, who when he was in TM61, what was the name again?
I always forgot what they were called. Some arrangement of numbers and letters.
For like the Mighty something, and then his tag partner, Nick Miller, he swanned off back to Australia, didn't they? So he left him in the company, and they've done nothing with him. But he's a great tag team wrestler. And then you've got obviously Dominik Dijakovic, very, very talented. We saw what he could do in down NXT with Keith Lee. You know, why are they in this stable and called weird names and wearing like bloody
didn't Mia Yim put up a picture of her like merging between herself and a Retribution thing? Did anyone see that?
No, I haven't seen that.
What's all about? Like, I don't know if she's openly kind of hinting that it's coming to an end or yeah.
I think Mercedes Martinez got out well. She got out when she could really. So
yeah, I mean, imagine, spending 20 years trying to get to the WWE, and you get to the WWE and you're presented with that, and she got out.
Well, they were almost like the new Nexus, weren't they? There actually was a new Nexus, but the new Nexus. They were almost, it looked like they were going to do something like that, ripping up the ring and all that kind of stuff. But I don't know, man. It's not really panned out the way I thought. I mean, I had questions about it at the start, but since then, it's only gone one way.
Yeah, it's just downhill. I think the problem is when it started. Is we just knew that due to the pandemic and what was going on in the world at the moment at that time, and it's still going on, there was no one to leave that stable. Their roster was their roster. There was no more surprises that they could do. There's no one going to come back from injury. No one they could call up really from NXT that was already a star. And so it was always going to underdeliver. And that's what it did. It underdelivered. They started out with chainsaw. The worst thing they did, to be fair, to Retribution, was when they made them part of the main roster. Because it was just like...
when they all got contracts for no reason.
Yeah. Well, their whole thing
they're so scared of us and they gave us what we wanted. What?
And then when they lost the Hurt Business on their first night on Raw, or their first match on Raw was against the Hurt Business, and they just lost. And, don't get me wrong, the Hurt Business definitely deserved to beat them. But it was just like, okay, well, there's no jeopardy here anymore because they just lost. I admit, there was a bit of intrigue when Ali turned. That was probably the best part of it.
Yeah.
Like the best time they had. But then, like we are where we are now, where no one gives a damn. And it's just like, just end it, please.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, is that the first one? It doesn't look like sadly we're going to get Rob at the moment. If we do find a way, obviously, we'll get his predictions anyway, because, it would be unfair if I managed to predict anything and I ran away in the table. But we will give him a chance. But yeah, it's a shame we can't get him. Obviously, this is the perils of not live TV, but live internet, I guess. Hopefully... we can find a way, and if not, we'll get him in next time, obviously. But I think he's watching, so... All right, Rob.
Yeah. Hey, Rob. And also a shout-out. We've got a comment just from Clive, our friend Clive Salmon, who has left a comment saying, what up? So, hey, how are you doing, buddy? Thanks for tuning in. Share this with all your friends and enemies and,
anyone
whoever else.
Basically.
Yeah, and anyone else, just... tell them we say hello and nice of you to join us. If there's anything you want us to talk about, then just leave us a nice little message and leave some love. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I guess we got some predictions to do anyway. So was that the first one we were going to talk about, by the way, guys? Because obviously we did on the main prediction. We've done our preview already, but at the time, there was 3 matches, was it?
Yeah.
I think so. So let's get up for myself. I'm just in the background, guys. I'm just gonna be just writing down these predictions so we don't lose them.
Don't want to add them up wrong.
I've already done that once.
It's Rob that literally would. It's just a shame he's not here. But we don't want to add them up wrong for Rob's sake.
So we predicted for Reigns and Bryan. We predicted for the women's tag team match and the IC Championship, Apollo and Big AW.
Yeah. We kind of knew Dreams would happen, but it wasn't confirmed, I don't think, at the time. We'll probably still go over, like, if anything changed, I guess, on anyone's predictions. Even though they're locked in, we can't do it through the predictions table. Speaking of which, we have a little look at the table at the moment. Look at that!
Let's have a looky.
There we go. And so obviously I'm on top of 42. Rob, who sadly isn't here at the moment, but is watching along. I'm sure he's up the rear with 39 points. Dan is even closer on 38. And then Lucas got a bit catching up to do before WrestleMania, before the end of night 2, where you could potentially still be on top. You got 29 points at the moment, and it is all about this beautiful, beautiful piece of gold here. I can't wait, mate. I can't wait to get that on this little display behind me.
Yeah, I'm sure like Rob will have something to say about that as well.
You know what?
I think he's going to obviously try and
I was going to say, I don't think anyone else in the world is going to do this tonight, but I was going to quote Kid Rock and say, they say I'm cocky, and I'll say, what? I think it's it ain't cocky if you back it up or whatever. I think there's a little swear word in there, but for YouTube reasons, we'll keep that out. But yeah, I'm going to try and back it up. I'm scared tonight, though, because my predictions already, since the predictions preview we did the other day, already I'm not confident about what I said. So yeah, a bit worried about that.
I've got word, not from the anonymous Raw general manager, but I've got word from Rob with his prediction. So he has texted them through to me. So
okay.
we now do know.
Should we just do them one by one as we go into it then, yeah?
Yeah, so we will kick off with the United States Championship match, which features Matt Riddle, or just Riddle, defending his championship against Mustafa Ali. So, in the interest of fairness, as Vincent Kennedy McMahon would say, I have my dice, and let's roll and let's see who is doing the predictions first. Obviously, we've already got Rob's. So, it is number 2, which I believe is Scott.
Okay, so this is Mustafa Ali versus Riddle, right? So US title. Well, we were talking just now before we got going on predictions that we thought it might be the end of Retribution coming up here. Really, you got to be thinking about Mania. I mean, are they going to save Retribution? Are they going to go towards a Mania storyline with a title? Or is it Riddle? I think when you look at it that way, I think it's more likely, whether or not Retribution are splitting up, I think it's more likely at the moment, unless they shock us. Just going by everything else they've done with this stable, it's got to be Riddle, because I don't see him doing much else going forward.
So you are going for Riddle. So now we move on to number 3, which was Lucas.
Yeah, I don't know. Just put it all in the bin. Retribution. Just admit.
I thought you meant the match.
In the match. Can't they have that match, the dumpster match? You know that the New Age Outlaws and Cactus Jack and Change of Charlie had at Mania that year. Just literally have a match where they all get thrown in the bin.
The Spirit Squad got sent back to OVW as well. Was it by DX, wasn't it?
Yeah, by DX, yeah. It's just garbage end of the day. And it's not working. It's never worked. It's not going to get over. And I know we're thinking about Mania, and we spoke about it in our prediction video when we were talking about, I think we were talking about the Big E Apollo match, and when we've spoken actually about Drew McIntyre potentially going on to winning the championship at Mania for Mania moment. There cannot be a Mania moment involving Retribution. There just can't. I just don't like it. And we'll get to Mania probably as we're talking later on, but
yeah,
it needs to feel big, and it's not feeling big. And Retribution will, Retribution make it feel like it's the main event, Mania kind of thing. It just doesn't make sense. So I would go with Riddle retaining, please. and just get the awful garbage off the television.
The thing is, though, it didn't have to be this way, you know. Like, it could have been something. Like, and it's not about the people in the stable. Like, I like pretty much all of them. It's just it was so cheesy straight away. Like, they to me they ruined straight away. And do you remember on Twitter, like, they ordered a good Twitter game at the start as well. And everybody, even now, to be fair, like, they're all pretty decent on Twitter. But it was in a way of like, yeah, we're still kind of doing what we want, and trust me, there's a reason behind all this, and it's going to go somewhere. And that's not I'm not saying it's their fault, but they were clearly hyping up something that was never going to happen.
And it was never going to happen because, like we said, there was no main event name attached to it. And all the great stables in history have had a main event name attached to it that, for good or for bad, has been able to have the sway to get the television time and to get the cool angles that we like. Like, could you imagine the NWO? You know, without Hogan, there was like Mark
led by Bagwell.
Yeah, but I mean, by Bagwell. You know, or like DX. You know, in the the original DX. You know, with mid carders in it. Like, could you imagine that? Like, it's never going to happen. Even bad stables, like we spoke about the new Nexus that were led by CM Punk. It was a case of, okay, this now CM Punk's going to take over a few people we don't have anything for, but CM Punk was still involved, and it was still like, okay, he's a main event talent, he warrants main event story. So at least we're going to have attack angles, and we're going to have tag team matches where they'll be featured against the stars of the day. But when it's no star attached like there is here, it's just frustrating. You know, it's like Mustafa Ali as well. Like, he really could have been someone with this. You know, he could have been somebody, could have been a contender.
Do you think that's it? They underestimated the star power, I guess, like, because he was like, before he got injured with the whole coaching, which I liked how they wrapped that feud into it recently. But he was on the climb, you know. So maybe they just, I think maybe they just weren't really thinking about how long he was out for, you know, and that his star had kind of dwindled a little bit in the time that he was away, and maybe they didn't really expect that. But again, like, I'm talking like I love him. I think he's great, you know. So it's a shame. What do you think, Dan?
It's sadly,
sorry, go on.
When it comes to WWE, though, it's Flavor of the Month, isn't it? So it's a case of he was hot when he was hot, and when Vince thought he could make them money. But then the minute that kind of thought went and Coach Mania started, then he got injured, like we said. It was just a case of it's not going to happen, and we've seen it happen with so many people before. Even again, I'm gonna stick with the Nexus thing because the stables are quite similar in the sense of their approach of how they were kind of brought in to an extent, because I guess the original Nexus, to be fair, with the only exception when they started of not really having a star per se, because they were
all on the same level when they came in, obviously.
They were all NXT rookies, but they came into a main event storyline, and fair enough how that ended. Perhaps something me and Dan will talk about in a clip, obviously, on the channel or something in the future, because I really like the Nexus idea of it.
Yeah, mate, that debut, the Nexus debut is one, I think, other than CM Punk, maybe one of the best things of that period. Just that, like, even now I go back and watch that debut, and I'm gonna rack it up here, but goosebumps, I get goosebumps watching it. It's so good. And even the SummerSlam, like when they all come out, I think it was at SummerSlam when they all come out to face Team WWE, when Bryan come back, which is great as well. But I mean, then it went downhill from there because they kept losing and Barrett never won the title. But just seeing them all come out, like that awesome theme song, the uniforms kind of like N logo, and even when they kind of changed it up with the different versions of it, the armband, everything about the Nexus, man, it should have been so much more. Yeah,
and obviously it was hot going into when Wade was going to compete for the WWE Championship. It was hot, and there was an argument here. Wade could have been that champion, but it's in the era where Cena did not lose to anyone. And I guess we've people can talk about Triple H's reign of terror in the early 2000s. Cena had a similar one, but you can kind of see why they did it because he was a star, he is a star, and he was just that tour de force of a worker that who knows, in 2010 we thought that he couldn't really have many more matches or many more moments in him, but he's obviously given us so many moments over the years, even up until obviously he's now kind of part-time status. But I just think a bit like, really, Retribution, it could have been something, and Ali could still be something though, because I don't know how old he is. I think he's only early 30s.
Maybe tonight is the start, man. Maybe we're wrong.
Who knows?
Possibly.
We'll see. Sorry,
I'd like
Dan,
to be,
sorry.
but
We've totally
bogarted it. No, it's fine. I'm sure people don't really want to hear what I'm got to say anyway.
we've also got Clive in the chat saying, but just to cut you again, Dan, it's going to be Riddle. Ali is going to be turned on, he reckons. So that'll be an interesting little scenario.
It's good thing you said it that way and not how it could have looked.
Yeah, that's why I read it.
What? Okay, go on.
Leave that off to
But anyway, yeah, off topic. But yeah, so I think it's one of these where, like, obviously, Retribution, when they first came in and they were like literally tearing the gaff apart, you're like, yeah, okay, are they going to make this stable up of like just literally a load of like, you know, disgruntled people from all over from NXT and all that stuff? And you know, it just felt a bit like the Ali thing was I feel that was just like a bit of an afterthought. It's like, right, okay, we've messed up with the whole SmackDown hacker gimmick, which I'm sure like probably 70-80% of people forgot even existed. And it's like they just were like, oh yeah, that was Ali. So it's like, okay, you just kind of sweep that one under the carpet. And you know, they've put him at the head of this stable. It's like, and then you think, what have they done? They've pretty much lost nearly every time, and they come in with such this like destructive way, essentially. And yeah, I just feel as though the way Ali has been recently, it just seems like he's just getting annoyed that they keep losing all the time. So it does make me think potentially that he will try, like, I feel he may win to like just say to him like to prove a point, but then it could just be the fact that obviously the rest of them do kind of just be like, oh, you know what? You know, you keep berating us because we're losing all the time. You know, can you do any better? And then he could lose. But it's you know, as I say, it is one of those like a toss of a coin essentially as to what's going to happen in this match. I think which way do I go? Which way do I go?
Which way did he go?
Which way did he go? I think Riddle. So yeah, I think that Riddle is going to come out of it victorious. So he's still going to be the champion. I think will be a clean victory. So it's not going to be I don't think there'll be shenanigans during the match, but potentially Retribution could attack Ali after the match and be like, well, you know, you keep going on us for being losers. Yeah. So now we're pretty much going to call you a loser and beat you up, sort of thing. So
Ali even had a match on pay-per-view in like the last few months. I don't remember any.
Wasn't he on the pre-show?
Since...
One of the,
yeah, but like that's how the stable's not worked. Like this, it was a big feud. It was a big storyline at first. I don't remember any singles matches for him on pay-per-view. Any?
Again,
am I wrong?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah,
like since it began,
anything.
single one-on-one match focused on the group and him as a leader on pay-per-view. I don't remember any.
Nor do I.
Let us know in the comments if I'm missing one, but yeah,
I think he had the
that's the
pre-show
key
match,
here.
and that's about it. Because even around the time when they were doing the Hurt Business kind of feud, there was talk about them potentially doing Survivor Series. You know, Hurt Business against Retribution. Yeah. That's the name of them.
Yeah.
Retribution. But obviously, as we know, Survivor Series has to be brand domination. You know, brand warfare, Raw versus SmackDown. Sometimes with NXT, and that didn't happen. But then mind you, it's not the only championship or anything. I mean, to happen, like I said, I put a stat to you the other day. The SmackDown Tag Team Championships have not been defended on pay-per-view since September, and that was like the Clash of Champions. So at pay-per-view they had to be defended, and you know it's mad. There's just so many people who really haven't had pay-per-view matches. I mean, even like Dolph Ziggler, who's current SmackDown Tag Team Champion, apart from the Rumble match, I don't think he's been part of anything at all pay-per-view wise. You know, since I think Extreme Rules last year. You know, when he obviously faced Drew in that weird match, which actually really sparked stipulation, to be fair. The Extreme Rules, but only for me match, which is actually a genius thing that he did. And he obviously lost. I don't think he's been on pay-per-view since. So it's and even Rollins, he returned obviously January. Wasn't in the chamber. And obviously just now going to have a match, obviously, we're going to talk about soon, I guess. So it's just very odd times now, it seems, people with pay-per-view matches.
Who did Rob pick?
So Rob has gone with all of us, and he has also gone for Riddle. He hopes.
Cool.
So yeah, hopefully that's obviously all of us saying Riddle across the board there. So yeah, so that was obviously the United States Championship match. We are now going to move swiftly on. We're going to just talk a little bit about one of the matches that we've already predicted, all of us, and that is the match between Big E and Apollo Crews for the Intercontinental Championship. They had some like fun stuff over on SmackDown with
the golf
carts chasing each other around the Thunderdome on golf carts and stuff. But yeah, I mean, has anyone kind of gone back on what they originally said? So I'm trying
to remember who I chose. Have you got written down?
So me, Scott, and Lucas, we all said Apollo Crews to win.
Yeah.
And Rob is the only one who went against that and said Big E.
Okay, so since SmackDown, I think I'm stronger on Crews because it was, if I remember rightly, Big E was getting more the upper hand, right? He was chasing Crews down and looking for him. I can't remember how the segment ended though. Maybe it ended with Big E on the floor. I can't quite remember. But you know the old rule of like if you end up on the floor and beaten up, you're probably going to win at the pay-per-view. But yeah, I think I'd still stick with the same, saying Crews is going to win. So I'm happy with, when we chose on that episode. So yeah, what about you guys?
Yeah, I think for me, mine. I think I would, if I had the option now, I think I would change.
Really?
Honestly, yeah, I think I would change. I think I'd go Big E. But yeah, it's just one of those strange things. I just feel as though it's something that they're going to do is that they're going to keep it on him for some.
He was fired up in that promo.
Yeah, I think I've just got this feeling. Good. I've just got a feeling that they're gonna keep it on him for some reason now. Although I'd like to see Apollo, obviously not just for the point, but I feel as though like the gimmick that he's going for at the moment and like character wise, I think it would be good for him as like, he's there. Obviously, he's going to be there as the heel champion, and then you can have obviously a babyface challenger going against him at some point. So,
well, I like what you're saying on the predictions episode. We did that. Yeah, basically, Big E. It would make sense for him to lose it and Big E to get back. So, if you guys want to check out some of our predictions, by the way, obviously the show's coming up and there's not a lot of time now, and obviously we hope you stay with us live. But if you want, we've covered the show quite a bit this week. So obviously there's a few clips on the main Rebellious Noise channel as well. So there's the main predictions and preview on this channel, and then as you can see there, will it work? We talk about Apollo Crews' new gimmick, and we talk about two special videos where we go in depth on what we think about the whole Daniel Bryan WrestleMania main event situation, which I'm sure we'll get into a bit there as well. But yeah, what about you, Lucas, mate? Are you still confident with who you chose?
Yeah, I think obviously when we picked, it was difficult because there were only 3 matches, and there was no other mid-card championship match. And then when they announced this Ali and Riddle thing, it has kind of thrown a bit of a spanner in the works, I guess, because the thinking is, and again, this is what we just don't know. Like the thing is, I don't know what they're doing on purpose, and it might end up working, to be fair, because it literally feels like this WrestleMania is being held as like some sort of secret or something. Like maybe it's not even going to be on the network at this. You know what I mean? At this point, they might just have it.
Well, maybe only for us. They got Peacock now, aren't they? So I think Peacock changed a lot.
Yeah, it's so secretive. Because usually with this time, we've had a couple of part-timers come back. We kind of know what's kind of going down. But they've had obviously already Goldberg have his match already at the Rumble. Had that. It didn't really seem that Cena's interested in doing anything this year. And The Rock's probably a long shot anyway. And so it just feels a bit weird. But so this match though, no, I'm sticking with Apollo. I think Apollo still got this. I think, I think even if it is just to get Big E's win back at Mania in front of the crowd, that's also fine. But this gimmick is new and it's different. It needs something to it, and I think it looks silly if he loses. But then I wouldn't rule out a DQ at this point, because now there's obviously more matches added to it, including, I guess, 3-ish that can't end in a DQ. because I'm assuming the match with Bliss and Orton match, I'm assuming that's going to be more angle based,
yeah,
or cinematic based, or something like that based.
Mm.
Then obviously you've got the no holds barred match, and you've got, so yeah, it could have a DQ, but no, I'll stick with my boy Apollo to win.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a show full of. It could well be a show full of shenanigans, really. To like
every match DQ, maybe that might be the plan.
It's just going to be.
What a way to build Mania.
Yeah, I just think it's obviously going to be everything now is on the road to WrestleMania kind of thing, but you've got to think that every match on this show surely is going to have some kind of implication towards WrestleMania and obviously towards what's going on in the build-up to.
Well, you'll think that, or are they just getting the people who they can't fit onto Mania on now? Some of them. And then just obviously at Mania, just a completely different. No one knows. I mean, rumors about Vince obviously changing the card and not being maybe so keen on some of the other matches they've even announced. Like it's, Lord knows. Because I mean, yeah. Before we discuss our next one, we've got to talk about the one that's keeps getting cancelled as well. That the Shane and Strowman, like it was happening and it wasn't happening. Then it was re-announced. Then it was taken down again. It's now not happening. It's not been announced on Mania. Like, when is it happening? Maybe it happened on Raw. Maybe it happened on main event. I don't know. But,
probably Velocity, mate.
It's a baffling time now. It's a backstage and creative, with this stuff. But
well, going back to Cruz, I think I want him to win as much as I like Big E and I like the idea of a solo push for him. I want it to work, and I want. Remember, last year when we was on the main Rebellious Noise channel, we were all talking about his US title run, how much we were enjoying it. We just wanted Hurt Business to work as well. And much like that, I was enjoying Cruz. It's like, oh, you're timed up now. Let's move it on to Bobby Lashley. And at the same time now, the Big E one, it's not really been as long or as, I guess, prominent as far as the IC title. But for me, it's just like, all right, let's move it on. See what he can do with it, and like you say, if Big E gets it back at Mania for the pop, then so be it. But then for me, that's the best scenario. Although it's a bit of a hot potato-y kind of thing, it's still kind of like best of both worlds. Both guys get the rub.
Yeah, I think they as well. I think we spoke about it on the predictions as well. Is they could definitely do some kind of multi-man match for this. The same, I reckon they could even do the same with the United States Championship. Actually, some kind of multi-man match at WrestleMania. It'd be quite good to maybe have the world titles as the main events of each night, potentially. Obviously, you got the Bianca Sasha match at some point, or is it Bianca Sasha? Who knows what's going to happen with stuff with them? But is Sasha going to keep the title up until WrestleMania? So
surely,
yes.
The two Rumble matches, that's the one I actually want to see.
To be fair, they had to defend it on SmackDown, and we'll get to that in a bit later anyway. But so obviously Rob chose Big E. It'd be interesting to know kind of whether he still would still stick by that. Obviously, not being here, we can't really get those thoughts as such. But so we will move on now to one more match that's been announced, and this one was announced on Raw, and that is the intergender match between Randy Orton and Alexa Bliss. So let's have a quick
interdimension, mate, not just intergender. It's going to be all over the place.
Let's have a look and see who we get to go first this time. Oh, it's come out number 2 again.
Mate. This is the worst one to go first on as well, because I kind of want to get your gauge to see if you think this is even going to be a match, like a traditional match. It has to be a winner. For me, it's got to be Alexa, because either the Fiend's coming back or Alexa's looking strong and he's coming back eventually in this building, or the Fiend kind of he doesn't appear tonight, but he makes a difference. Do you know what I mean? Whatever's going on with this weird stuff, but Randy Orton gets possessed, or Alexa gets possessed, or they both get possessed, and somehow it's the Fiend is the cause of it. Maybe he doesn't show up tonight, but because of that, you can't have Alexa lose, I don't think. So I think Randy's got to lose in order to go ahead to ramp up kind of wanting to face the Fiend again. So Yeah, or maybe the Fiend will actually show up tonight. But either way, I think I'm going with Alexa Bliss beating Randy Orton.
So you don't think it's going to be like Chinlock Central and Orton just sit there with
I don't think it's going to be one of those kind of matches. Yeah, I don't think it's that kind of match tonight, unfortunately.
So, yeah, who knows?
I think this is an angle kind of thing more than a match. I mean, if it is a match, it's going to be more like, staring and looking and, kind of talking of Randy Orton, just like what the hell's going on kind of thing. Saying that, I think prediction, it's hard to say because I don't see, as much as Randy is a company guy, I just don't see him allowing himself to be pinned by a female. Like I think they could do something creative where perhaps like he goes to kind of either leave the ring, or he goes to, maybe, to be fair, because Randy Orton, he maybe goes to strike Alexa, and then because they can obviously pre-record this, couldn't they? I guess this match can be pre-recorded, where then the Fiend, as he goes to punch, the Fiend appears, Sister Abigail 1, 2, 3. So technically, and then the Fiend morphs back into Alexa or something like that. I know I'm probably not explaining this as good as I could, but some sort of creative.
I think I got you.
I'm reading Clive's comment. She got two ideas: Bliss summons the Fiend back, or 2, Randy gets possessed and takes on the role of a version of the Fiend. Yeah, this is the thing. Like, I think if Randy Orton's role in this is to get pinned, it won't be Randy Orton. If that makes sense, it'll be a possessed version of him.
I don't know if you saw a comment from Michael as well. Michael Mason said everyone expects the Fiend, but it will be Alter Ego Randy that fights Randy, which will be interesting. I mean, this is such a weird one to predict. It's so weird.
Finale.
How's he going to RKO himself?
I'm sure they could. He's pulled off the RKO in very impressive ways. We've talked about it on the podcast before. I'm sure he could RKO himself.
Or they'll get DDP in to give him a diamond cutter and do it that way.
Ospreay, he's been hitting them lately as well. B Priestley felt one of those in New Japan, but
no one's safe.
Exactly.
I mean, in some ways as well, isn't Randy Orton's kind of dream opponent? Like, if he could fight anyone, he would probably want to face himself.
What is it JBL always says? If you could build a sports entertainer from the ground up, it'd be Randy Orton. And Randy was like, yeah, it would be. Let me fight myself.
Perhaps. But look, I mean, this match is going to be silly. We know it is. I'm just awaiting Scott's rant tomorrow.
Looking forward to it.
I think of all the matches on the card, this is the one that is going to get the silliest. Has the potential to get the silliest. Because I think intergender as a whole is just very hard to pull off. In WWE, it's even harder because obviously being a family product, they're limited with what they can do. And we just know that this is all about the Fiend. But then, like the comments have said, like perhaps it is, perhaps all they led to anyway. Perhaps it's a distraction. Perhaps it's just not going to be that. But so anyway, my final answer then is going to be, shall I risk it? I'm going to risk it. I just do not see Randy Orton laying down for Alexa Bliss on any capacity. And I might eat those words tomorrow. So I'm going to say no contest. I'm going to say no contest.
Oh, okay.
Silly, creative things will happen. The Fiend will appear. The match gets
this is probably a good one to do it on. So is that a bonus point then? That's a bonus point there.
If I bold prediction it, but then I risk losing a point, don't I?
Yeah. You can say it, yeah.
Probably is worth me doing it, to be fair, because I'm so far behind. But then obviously,
you know what? I think that might count as one anyway. We'll refer to the rule book at some point between now and tomorrow and let you know if that counts as one anyway. I think it does. I think that's the whole reason why we brought in the bonus point. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But like you say, it'll help you climb that table, baby, if it's right. So one step closer to glory. One step closer.
Let's go for it. It's a result I actually believe in, and would like to see. So if I am wrong, then it's not like I've chosen something on the whim that I've disliked or whatever just to get the point. I've chosen because I genuinely think this should happen. So if it doesn't, then yeah. But definitely.
So no contest, the match just ends. Like there's no winner.
Yeah, there's no winner. Yeah,
It's kind of when we were
has to
predicting the swamp fight as well. We were like, did he win when he pulled Braun in? Like, remember, we were like, is that a win?
This is the ongoing problem, though, with the cinematic match.
I think we still don't know who won that match.
What did WWE.com say about that match? Is it just a no contest or whatever?
They just got dragged into a swamp, wasn't it?
It's very hard with cinematic matches because technically the rules can be anything, can't they? Like, especially in the Bray Wyatt universe, like the Firefly Funhouse last match last year. You know, it was a case of, well, he won, but we didn't know what the hell was going on. There was no kind of rules defined, and there's no obviously match, not even a match length, is there, for that? Because, essentially it was taking place in Bray's head. And the same thing with the swamp fight. It was all the kind of psychological, warfare and the kind of the mind games and stuff. We had no idea where it took place, when it took place. But hey ho.
Yeah, I think tonight's going to be the same.
No contest for me for that. What do you think, Dan?
That's a good choice.
So I think this is going to be a match that's going to be held under traditional British rules. So it's going to be 6 3-minute rounds. It's going to be a Heritage Cup #1 contenders match. Winner faces A-Kid at the next event. And no, in all seriousness, I think it's going to be a really shenanigan-y match. It's going to be loads of they're probably going to go all out with the bells and whistles in this one. I mean, I like the idea of just a match ending as a no contest. I can see the Fiend in some capacity showing up, whether it's showing up in person, whether it's a Fiend graphic that comes up on the screen, and then that causes Alexa to then be able to hit Sister Abigail and get the win. Which way to go? Because it's the thing is, I would say that I am fairly confident that Randy Orton is not winning the match, but it's whether I go no contest or whether I go Alexa Bliss to actually get the 1, 2, 3. It is literally just that way. It is just that what way do we actually go with it? So for me, I think I am going to say there's going to be a victory for Alexa Bliss. Clean-ish. So she's going to pin Randy Orton, I think, in the middle of the ring.
When you mentioned pinning, that's what I'm not sure. That's what I'm wait, I don't know about that anymore.
I think it's going to be something like the Fiend will distract on the screen or something. It's going to go all dark, and we're probably going to see about 3 or 4 different Alexa Bliss characters throughout this. We may even see different versions of Wyatt show up on the screens at some point. But yeah, I think it's going to be a Fiend distraction. Alexa will hit, not Twisted Bliss, she'll hit Sister Abigail. And 1, 2, 3, obviously Randy Orton going to have all the black goo coming as usual. So that's what I think. Have you got anything
from Rob, by the way? Has he told us who he thinks on this one?
We have Rob saying this. I can see Alexa changing character at some point in the match. And Rob also said to us that he reckons the winner of the match is going to be Alexa Bliss, but with Fiend shenanigans as well. So it's basically going to be the Fiend is going to cause the distraction. Not going to risk a bonus point on it, though. So
I was going to say, I didn't put one either, did I? So Yeah, as you can see, as you're Untitled, check out Rob's podcast as well. Nice movie podcast. If you're into films, like I think we all are, except for Dan the weirdo. You're like Michael Owen. You know, Michael Owen's only seen like 5 films in his life or something weird like that. Strange.
Geezer don't even know how to cup of tea as well, though.
Does he not? I'm not surprised. He's been famous for a long time. All right, so what match we got next, boys?
So we will move on.
Oh wait, actually, sorry, I didn't mean to say when you joked around about this being a British rules match. Good time to shout out the fact you interviewed Doug Williams, and that is up on our channel today. So check that out. Nice chat. I enjoyed watching that. Dan.
Indeed.
Yeah, it was good.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, he was a really lovely guy. Big shout out obviously to Doug Williams, who, if you guys don't know, Doug Williams, staple of British wrestling, is returning to the ring. Obviously, former TNA X Division champion, former TNA TV champion, wrestled all over the world. And yeah, check out the interview that I did with Doug over on the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. So
stories as well. That interesting story as well about wrestling Flair at Wembley. So hopefully people like that. And he wants Magnus, who could be losing his title right now. I'm not sure. But he's facing Sandow tonight, isn't it? Aaron Stevens, is it? He's going under now. Yeah. So, and I called him Magnus. Nick Aldis could be losing his title tonight. But if he doesn't, then Doug Williams coming after you, baby. But yeah, that'd be cool.
And then obviously the Doug Williams and Ric Flair match, they said it was on and off more than the Braun Strowman, Shane McMahon match. So, yeah. But yeah, so anyway, moving on to a match that is well and truly on, and that is between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Now, there was talk, obviously, that this match was going to be a last man standing match. It's actually been confirmed now that it's going to be a no-holds-barred match. Now, I don't see why they didn't just do this as a number one contenders match instead of just announcing Drew as the challenger for the championship on Raw. We're going to go with the dice here, and we have gone number 2.
No! What is going on with that dice?
It's loaded, mate. It came up as Rob like twice, I think.
This is the thing, because this is what I know. Rob's at home laughing now. I know Rob's laughing. Right. Okay.
He'd be laughing on the other side of that mask, mate.
Yeah. Okay. Who? I mean, surely Drew's going to win because he's got to go towards Mania. So the only way I can see him not winning is if there's some sort of shenanigans and Lashley gets involved to kind of get that heated up early. But I don't want it to be that way. For me, this whole feud has been wasted. I love the fact that at the moment they're sharing the pictures of when they were younger, being like, tonight it comes to an end or whatever else. Like on their Twitters and stuff like. This match had a lot of potential. I know a lot of people before were saying, Drew and Sheamus Mania. I don't really want to see that. But look at the match they had on Raw a few weeks ago. It was trending. Everyone was getting mad about it on the night. It was a great match, and at that moment where they both went for the same, they both went for their kicks, basically. So I'm excited about the match. Don't get me wrong, but and maybe this isn't a year's unfortunate timing. It shouldn't be the Mania match, but hold off on it, man. Do it at SummerSlam. It's really frustrating me basically that it's happening at this moment in time. Now, obviously, from being over this side of the pond, I understand I'm a bit of bias. We've liked these guys for many a year. Interviewed Drew as well. Nice. Check that out on the main Rebellious Noise channel. But it's not just that. It is. I genuinely think both these guys have a great story to tell. And it's not just bias because they're from this side of the world. They have a great story to tell. They're great athletes, and I think they'll put off a great match tonight. And I'm disappointed it is kind of like a footnote on the year of WWE, basically. But with that being said, I think it's going to be Drew because surely Drew's got to look strong going into Mania, and that's simply it. Because if it was another point, they could do the return. I think it should be. If it weren't Mania season, it should be. They could have pounded up a bit more. Maybe Sheamus gets the first win, Drew comes back, gets the final win, to settle the feud because he's the babyface. But there ain't time for that anymore. We got to wrap this up, baby. We got to go to WrestleMania. So because of that, I think it's done and dusted. Drew McIntyre's getting the win.
I think this one, along with the main event, well, what we believe might be the main event, which we'll talk about, I guess, when we get to it. this one just felt like it's very much just nailed in. You know, Drew has to win because he's going on to WrestleMania, and maybe to beat Lashley. Where this leaves Sheamus at WrestleMania, though, like
Andre Battle Royal.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe the Battle Royal win. Maybe get that, but
maybe
I don't know. I think stipulation's good though. I really, really, really hate last man standing matches, and we just saw one at the Rumble and it messed up the finish, the whole handcuffs. I'm hoping they ban
how bad that was.
You know, we do not need to see bloody 50 Shades of Wrestling. It does not need to exist. But you know, I think that. He's caught. I've been caught.
Straight up.
What do you call it? This is like when ECW showed up on Raw in '97. Yeah, this is promotional.
He's just going to rip his t-shirt off, and it's just going to be a Talking Crap t-shirt underneath.
But check out Lucas's other channel, Talking Crap.
Yeah, I'm a traitor. Oh my God, I'm getting abused.
Follow your own life coach stuff, mate.
You know, the life coach had to expand, you know, different empires. That's all I have to say.
Of course.
Sheamus. Yeah, sorry, Sheamus with this one. I think it's a case of the stipulation. It fits them both as well. Obviously, both being brawlers, and like we said, we've had. You know, I remember seeing Sheamus wrestle back in about 2006. You know, over here, you know, so 15 years ago or so, and the journey that they've both taken is phenomenal. Drew, obviously, even returning, obviously, to England after his release in the mid 2010s. Can't be that I said that, but you know, a few years ago, and obviously then before returning to WWE, that was, you know, they were both part of the circuit over here. And the last man match, we don't need to see those. No holds barred where that's at. Drew to win though, because there's just nothing for Sheamus if he wins, sadly.
Yeah. Where does Sheamus go after this though?
I think you are right. Probably Mania Battle Royal. No one leaves me.
But yeah, so yeah, Rob said that he thinks Drew's going to win as well. So
okay,
that's going to. I think it's probably a nailed on one.
Rob.
Yeah, playing it safe. Go with everyone else. I think. So yeah, for me, it's
trophy.
Yeah, I think for me, this is one of those where, as I say, I think it should have really been a number one contenders match. You know, especially the fact that they're having Drew go on to Mania. But
we've got some excitement into the show. I mean, there's quite a bit, to be fair, more than I thought there would be. But
exactly, and it seemed like, you know, they've announced it so last minute. It's like, you know, why would you? And that, I mean, I think if Sheamus is going to win, then there's no, like, it's going to just make Drew look weak. The only way I could see Sheamus winning is if there is a surprise return from Brock Lesnar, which potentially could then make it a triple threat at Mania. That's the only thing.
Four-way, mate. Throw Sheamus in there as well. Give him something to do.
Well, the thing is, if you go with a fatal four-way match, then, you know, no disrespect, Sheamus could be the guy that literally will take the pinfall. You know, because then it means you've got the three big guys in there, and none of them will actually have to then obviously get pinned, and then all of them will have like a reason and be like, well, actually, you didn't pin me, blah blah blah. So, yeah, I mean, for me, I think 100% I'm going with Drew. I think he's going to win the match. I think it's just going to be just pure brutality from the pair of them for, you know, just give them like 15 minutes. Just say to them, just go out there and just batter each other, really. As we say, you know, Drew and Sheamus. I just feel as though, yeah, as I say, Drew McIntyre to win it. And yes, I think that's, I guess, you know, everything for that one, really. Not really much more to cover on it. So
stay with us, guys, as well. I just mentioned the pre-show. We know it starts in 5 minutes, and we will act as a little bit of a watch along for that as well. We'll get some. If you guys get up, don't put the audio on. We're all looking in trouble. But I'm gonna have the pre-show over here. Don't know about you guys on mute, and we'll have a little comment on that. What's going on there as we continue to preview the main show. Sorry, did Rob say for this? Oh, he said Drew, didn't he? Yeah, playing it safe. Yeah, of course, Rob, of course.
Yeah. Well, he's either going to say Sheamus or no contest, so yeah. So now we're going to move on to a match that was only announced on SmackDown, and that is Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Seth Fricken Rollins. So both men have their old entrance music back, which is incredible. So, didn't like the new versions of either of them. And for the final one this time, you'll be pleased to know, Scott, that you're getting a bit of a reprieve. It is actually numero uno, which is me going first on this one.
You know what? I want mine on this one because I think it's easy. But it's annoying. I'll go first.
So for this one, obviously we've seen Shinsuke is obviously going into this match as the babyface. He's basically fighting for the honor, it seems, of his friend Cesaro. So for me, I feel as though it's going to be an easy Seth Rollins victory. Because obviously Seth just coming back. I think getting in there with Shinsuke is going to be incredible. I think it's going to lead eventually to Seth versus Cesaro at Mania. You know what? You could even throw Shinsuke in there, make that a triple threat as well. And who knows
if he's fighting for his honor? That's the only thing. Like, unless something gets mad every now and then.
I mean, unless they throw in a fourth guy, maybe Murphy, and make it a tag match. But I'd prefer to see Seth versus Cesaro. I think on the actual main Mania card. So,
but it'd be so good to see Cesaro get a singles match on Mania. I know it's 2 nights, so you definitely should be trying to fit him in now. But yeah, it'd be great to see him. I think the past few months for him and Nakamura, WWE seemed to have flirted a bit with actually pushing them, I guess. And it's good to finally see. They've took the foot off the gas, so to speak, lately a bit, but I was pleased to see on SmackDown, even though it's randomly out of nowhere, that Nakamura was kind of featured again, basically.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I think it's one of them where it seems like they really dropped the ball with him. It's like they didn't know what to do with him. What you should have done was put the title on him when he faced AJ. That's what you should have done, guys.
Mate, you know what? This is a perfect time to me and Tom, for Talking Beans, for the Talking Beans podcast, we are doing a series where we're looking back on pay-per-views from 5 years ago, our reactions, and we're reacting to our reactions, and what's changed since then, what our opinions of like that show, and also what's happened in WWE since then. So we there'll be 2 episodes coming back up on this channel where we do WrestleMania 32, timely, and also NXT Dallas, and it's actually Nakamura's debut. So we go into that quite a bit on there as well, as far as the journey that Nakamura has had since then. So I won't say too much, but please subscribe to the channel and check that out. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, it was an amazing takeover, that show, to be honest. So, by the way, so Scott, you're going next, but before you do answer that question, there's an even more important question that needs to be asked, and that's come in via the chats.
Oh my god! Well, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna have time because we're on this, but I'm gonna try and do this time. It'll be a double-decker pizza, one of those ones from Iceland. I don't really want to plug Iceland. I'll tell you in a second. Double-decker pepperoni pizzas, 2 layers stacked. I'm gonna have to plug them. It's a wicked pizza, and then on top of that, probably some sort of chicken dippers with Frank's hot sauce. And some chips and a deep fat fryer. But I'm annoyed about Iceland because, as you guys all know, tomorrow we are launching some new shows on this channel as well, as far as reviews go, which we'll talk about in a bit. But I'm going to be doing a hangover review because of how late we watch things in the UK. And it's going to be my perspective, the hangover of that pay-per-view. And I'm going to show off what I'm eating that breakfast to get over my hangover. And it was going to be a Greg's sausage roll because Iceland do them, right? Frozen ones. They're really nice. But Iceland delivered to me today, boys. Every single one of my frozen items defrosted. What? What? Right? So I'm not happy about that. Obviously, my people are looking into this as we speak. Mate, of all supermarkets that messed that up, Iceland, frozen food. Come on, boys. So, yeah, I'm a bit annoyed about that, but I'm going to be doing pizza, some chicken, some chips. But thanks for asking, Rob. Appreciate it. Am I meant to talk about the match now? Was that next?
Yeah, so don't forget. So the match is Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. So who are you going with for this one?
Yeah, Rollins. Love Nakamura. Rollins' return's not been that great so far, so I can't see WWE letting it stay that way. So here we go. Rollins is going to win. He's got a new gimmick, which is funky suits. I'm all for it. And yeah, Rollins is going to win. That's it. Simple.
I'm
So,
not
yeah.
vegan, by the way. Yes, I don't know. Like Rollins has to win. I'm glad you said that he changed his theme, because that theme, his old theme of his, has literally been in my head for about a year. It won't escape. It's one of those themes. That theme,
Burn It
Adam
Down
Rose theme, and the Bludgeon Brothers theme. Oh my god! They literally on repeat in my head all the time. So hopefully,
what about Godfather?
Hopefully, now that Seth Rollins theme can escape my head. Yeah, Rollins has got to win. I genuinely forgot that Shinsuke worked for the company still. So it's just, yeah. And, you know, so as much as he was good in NXT, it's like I think the care kind of stopped when he came to the main roster. And his push was basically over within like 6 months. He was obviously the toy of the month for a little bit. But Seth Rollins, I guess they're trying to build him back up. And potentially with Becky Lynch, hopefully coming back after Mania as well. I guess they need to obviously start. Well, they're on. I think they're 2 of the highest paid stars in the company. I think so. They got to start earning their keep. I guess. You know, you can't just sit. Yeah. So yeah, my pick would be Seth Rollins. I think it'd be a decent match. To be fair, I think this is one they've done for some of the smarter fans. I'm guessing it might not be to my taste. Some of the stuff that will occur in it. Didn't they have? Actually, they faced before, didn't they? Wasn't it the IC champion against US champion or something?
Possibly.
Shinsuke versus Seth at Survivor Series one year. I believe that was a thing.
Most likely.
When Shinsuke wears his weird outfit, like he wears one piece, isn't it? In the whatever colour brand.
In the colour of the brand. Yeah. See, I remember that.
It's so tacky. It's so tacky.
Was that when he had the blue pajamas on?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's the one.
Smurfsky Nakamura, there we are.
Saying that, like, I'm really liking that gum shield though. Look at that, the red teeth.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. And we've got to just give a quick shout out to Seth Rollins. Some of the suits that guy's been rocking on SmackDown have been just something really different. Like the one that he had on this week, where it was like navy blue trousers up into like a white jacket.
I like that.
That was pretty cool.
I know
that was a
channel.
Decent look.
And I'm definitely not a Man United or Tottenham fan, but was it last season or season before we had that kind of gradient as well? You guys had the red into the black, Dan, for Man United, and Tottenham I think had the white into the blue. I love a good gradient. Reminds me of Wimpy. Don't know why. I think the branding was like that in the 90s. And anything that reminds me of Wimpy,
I love
I'm all for it.
I love Wimpy. As Dan knows from the first lockdown.
Yeah, we always hear. Yeah, you were like, I need Wimpy, I need Wimpy. So.
I went all the way to Elton to get my Wimpy fix. Like,
when you need a Wimpy, you need a Wimpy. There's barely any around anymore, so
they keep
I'm not surprised.
But they're always very good. But anyway,
a lot of seaside towns still have them though.
Yeah,
a lot of
I'm not at the seaside now.
Yeah, well,
winter to get my
2 plus 1 stone, mate. Go to the seaside and get a Wimpy. What a day!
True, it is quite a day, but not in the winter, sadly. And
maybe not.
Not in lockdown. We shouldn't be in.
Yeah, not in a winter lockdown. Is probably a no, and a double no. So yeah. Hey, what are we talking about?
We were talking about Seth Rollins, Shinsuke Nakamura, but I just need to add something. I've literally just seen flash up on the pre-show. I've seen this graphic flash up.
Oh yeah,
it's back.
Which will seemingly mean that match is happening tonight. So
okay, I guess we'll get to promoting that as well and talking about that soon. Cool.
But yes, I think it's one of those where they didn't really know what was going on at the time. But yeah, so for that one, Rob was also going for Seth Rollins for the Seth Rollins Shinsuke Nakamura match, obviously. So should we just go straight into the Braun and Seth match then? Now it's been officially announced. Should we go into that
we're
one?
done with the Nakamura. Did you do? Dan, you were first, weren't you? Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
Yeah. So I mean, because the other
Straight
two
ahead.
that we've got left after this, we've already predicted. So we are going into the now announced Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon match. And Lucas, you are the one who is going first on this one, number 3. There we go.
Okay. So we have a match that was put together, was cancelled, put back on together, then cancelled again. This
Not
is
officially cancelled, just kind of like hushed, and then mentioned, and then hushed. As WWE seem to do a lot these days with pay-per-view matches.
I don't know what they're doing with this. I don't know why they're doing it either. I don't know why I should care about them doing it. I'm guessing the goal.
It made more sense on Mania, but
it would, because surely the goal is Shane to jump off something. That's what he does. That's the only thing he does.
Top rope.
He does it well.
He does it very well, yeah. But why is it on Fastlane? This is another one. The thing is, if the Alexa Bliss versus Orton match wasn't kind of already announced, this would be an easy one to say, well, this match isn't happening then. They're obviously going to do like some sort of brawl, and then, it'll be some sort of... The match won't start kind of thing. That they're brawl throughout the Thunderdome, and then the match won't start. And that might still happen, to be fair. But then, is that likely to happen more than the Bliss and Randy Orton potential no contest? Or more than other stuff we mentioned? But if I'm just gonna have to pretend that this match is going to happen.
This match has drained you. Your energy just went.
It's killed me.
It's not even happening yet.
It's just the thing is, I love Shane as well. I love Shane, but I don't.
And Braun could always say could be so much more. But what is this feud? The feud is literally, hey, why didn't you put me in matches? You're big and dumb. That's the feud, bro. I don't care. Like, that doesn't invest me. Like, and then you put in some Nickelodeon gunk on him. I don't care. You know what I mean?
The thing is, surely they should have harked this one back to the Raw Underground days, when obviously Shane McMahon brought up Dabba Kato to fight Braun, and then obviously that happened. But they could have brought something with that in. I mean, Dabba Kato, like, have Dabba Kato. Shane works better as a villain than, like, it's just very bloody odd, this. But okay, because I'm going to pretend this match is happening, because I just keep mentioning DQs and that, and we're not, in the 2000s anymore, so matches do tend to have winners on pay-per-views. I'm going to go with, I think Shane might win. You know what? Go for it. Shane's winning. Yeah, Shane's winning.
I'm going to go
already because I'm third. Go on, Dan. Your turn.
So it goes into me. So I reckon this match. It's just going to be. I think it's got all the makings of like a non-starter for me. This one, but I think what we're going to see eventually is the way that the divas, as they were talking, as they were known as years ago, used to do different like styles of matches, like gravy bowl matches, that kind of stuff. I can see this being a Dave Benson Phillips special. Dave Benson Phillips is going to do a get your own back. It's going to be Shane McMahon taking his dad on there, being, look, I want to get my own back on my dad for this, that, or the other. And he's like, no, stick Braun up there instead. So, in all fair, I think this is just going to be one of those I would see. I don't want to be like, I'm going to risk a bonus point on this match being a non-starter, but I just don't feel like. I feel like it's either going to just start and then just fizzle out to nothing, or it's just going to, it's bloody hard. It's so tricky to pick.
Especially when you know they kind of haven't been that sure on whether or not the match should be promoted. You know?
Yeah.
What they're doing.
So But it's the way I've got to think about it is how do I actually word it? Do I word it as a no contest, or do I say that it's just not going to happen? Because
you think
technically,
the match could just not even start. Yeah.
But I think you're better off picking a result because the match shouldn't happen and the prediction null and void anyway, isn't it? For everyone.
Yeah. Or like literally, like they're both in the ring, but the bell, like they're just beating each other up before the bell even rings and that kind of stuff. But you know what? I'm just gonna go no contest. It's gonna just be like just a non no contest kind of finish for it. So,
I have no idea. And partly because like Lucas, like I'm kind of meh about it. So, I mean, it just feels weird. I thought they were taking it off and stopped promoting it because they wanted it just as a Mania. It feels like, although it's not going to be your star Mania match, it feels like a Mania match. King's got something to do, Braun's got something to do. You know, like it feels like a Mania match, in that sense. So, I really don't know because like surely it's going to Mania. Like surely like this whole feud seemed obvious. It was starting to build up a few weeks back, and surely it was because it was going to Mania. And I feel like they pulled the trigger too early. I guess that's the problem having Fastlane so close to Mania, especially this year. But who's Rob gone for, by the way? Maybe I'm gonna get that first.
So Rob has gone with a no finish and a rematch at WrestleMania.
See, I think that's. I mean, it's what I think. I think there's going to be a match in WrestleMania. So if there's going to be a match, maybe Braun does something really bad to Shane, and Shane has like a babyface build into Mania now, like a reason to really go after him. Like the jokey stuff stops, and it gets like a serious Shane, almost like when he got electrocuted by Kane in the balls. You know, maybe it's that kind of Shane. But at the moment, it's the which way did he go, Shane? You know, with Big Show. So. So, like, if you have Shane win it, what really happens then? Maybe on Raw, Braun kicks the crap out of him, and then either way, like, Shane's surely got to turn into a more serious. Like, you can't take the mick out of Braun and then beat him and then go to like, why is it going to Mania now? And he also can't take the mick out of Braun and he beats you. Why are you still going after him? Unless he does something crazy and you've had to go serious rather than the kind of like jokey Shane McMahon, hey, you're big and dumb type stuff. Oh man, I still don't know. Maybe I'm gonna go no contest as well then, because screw it. Yeah, no, they ain't. It's gonna end with a. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a no, almost like a stunt. Like they're gonna fall off something together. You know what I mean? Like something like that. You know, I'm not gonna bonus point it, but yeah, something like that. I can see the match just not taking place.
So we're literally like no contesting across the board on this one then, pretty much.
Well, I think Lucas picked that.
Oh, you said Shane.
Yeah.
So Shane O'Mac for you, and then literally no contest for the. I do think though it's still going to be one of these that's going to go to Mania. So
surely.
Yeah. You know, and the whole Dabba-Kato thing, I think that could actually, that literally could work. The Dabba-Kato thing could that could be something that they in like that. Happens in this match, Dabba-Kato comes in and he's the one that maybe could cost Braun the match, or it could even lead to maybe Braun and Dabba-Kato at WrestleMania. Who knows? But I wouldn't want to see that, but who knows? So
I'd have Dabba-Kato as like, if you're gonna go ahead with Shane as the villain, I'd have Dabba-Kato as like Shane's bodyguard basically, because I think. Like he looks the part at least. He can go because I think having Shane presented going toe to toe with Strowman is just stupid. Like why would you do? Why would you do that? And why would WWE let that happen? This is the biggest problem with them. They keep letting people treat Strowman badly, and then wondering why he doesn't get over, or wondering why he is possibly one of the worst world champions you've had in like the past few years, because you bring back your son just to go face to face with him. It makes no sense. Like, someone like Shane McMahon should be, wetting his pants basically every time he's around Strowman, because, like, he's the monster among men. Shane McMahon's just Shane McMahon. He's lost his best in the world moniker now. As time has passed, but I don't know. It's a frustrating match. This.
Yeah, it is really, really, really strange. So, yeah, I'm not too sure what's going to happen in total with that. I think Scott's probably just gone pee-pee, but yeah, we'll wait for him to get back. So hopefully he'll be back soon, and then we can get on with talking about the other two matches that we have already predicted. Obviously,
What's
just
going on
gives
in the
me.
pre-show at the moment?
So the pre-show is just basically Samoa Joe standing next to a car. Now it's showing a few different bits and pieces, but it just gives me a bit of a chance really to just tell you guys what we've got really coming up in the next week, really. So we have got tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. We have got the Fastlane Hangover, which will be Scott talking all about his review of Fastlane. Then we have Fastlane in a Nutshell, which I believe is yourself, Lucas, talking all about Fastlane from your perspective. Then we have the recap and review, which is going to be all of us. Hopefully, Rob will be joining us for that. And that will be from 5 p.m. on Monday. So there's going to be quite a lot of content on Monday. So that will be going live on Monday at 5 p.m. And then as of next Saturday, I will be going live every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. So you have to get up really early to see this. And that is me returning with Lay the Smackdown, where I will lay the Smackdown on the week in wrestling. This first one is obviously going to be the Fastlane Fallout edition. But what I'm going to be doing with that is I will be touching a little bit on different aspects of the week in wrestling. So I'll touch on a bit of Raw, a bit of SmackDown, a bit of NXT. We may even go into anything that's happening pay-per-view wise. Obviously, on the road to WrestleMania, there is going to be so much to talk about. We are going to have, obviously, NXT UK, NXT TakeOver. There's going to be, just so much to talk about. Obviously, Hall of Fame. We've not even touched on the Hall of Fame yet. There's the will they, won't they with Daniel Bryan. There's the will they, won't they with Batista. It's obviously we've seen today that Batista's profile has been removed from the 2020 Hall of Fame inductees section. So obviously we don't know whether that's still going ahead or not. There was the thing with Daniel Bryan where that was just randomly appeared on WWE.com somewhere. But that's as I say, that's what we've got coming up. We're going to be obviously covering a load of different things, and so I think we are probably good to go with talking a little bit more about Fastlane. Obviously, the pre-show at the moment going on. We are just filling for time. So, shall we just talk a little bit about the match between Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, Sasha Banks, and Bianca Belair? Now, did you see much about this match on SmackDown? What was going on there?
No. Are Bianca and Sasha still being friends?
So on SmackDown, they had the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Sasha Banks and Nia Jax. One really funny part that I actually laughed my head off about was there was a part where Sasha Banks last week was doing her dance thing on the she was doing her dance on the stage and her belt fell off. So what they've done now is they've actually shortened the belt. So there's only 2 snaps on the belt now and the belt tip thing. So they've made it smaller essentially for her so that she can so that she doesn't obviously let it drop while she's coming out. But she faced Nia Jax and they had a little bit of dissension where Shayna actually accidentally distracted Nia, causing Sasha to retain the championship. And then that led into later in the night, Bianca Belair taking on Shayna Baszler in a match. So obviously this one, I'm just going back on our predictions here. So with that one, that was, Rob and Lucas, you two both said that it was going to be Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler retaining. I said Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair, as did Scott. I think for me, I would if I had the option, I would I would probably change like last minute with this one. Yeah, I think definitely I'd change. Yeah, so
no, I'd stick. I mean, I don't know. I don't watch the weeklies, so but I don't know. They need to start feuding Sasha and Bianca, and I think a good way to do it would be kind of from this match kind of thing. Are the comments off, by the way, for the video now?
No, it should still be on.
Okay. Well, shout out to Matt Ball. He said he can't get onto the comments apparently. He's a bit of a boomer. I know he's only young, but he's a bit of a boomer. But yeah, no, I'd stick. I think.
How much did he pay you to say that?
Yeah, just my PayPal details are.
Yeah.
No, he Matt Ball. He's gonna text me. Matt Ball, let me know your prediction for the women's tag team title match.
So that is.
I think, surely, the way to go is for Sasha and Bianca to split up and have their big kind of cat fight or whatever. To actually have a feud because they're meant to be opponents in a few weeks. But then there's so many teases. I don't know if it's just me, Dan, but honestly, they are teasing us with so many possibilities for matches at Mania at this point now. It's getting quite ridiculous, you could argue.
Oh, there we go. Hey, there we go.
Just like future Hall of Famer, I'm back. Yeah. Sorry
Did you make sure you washed your hands?
I did. No, I don't know what's going on. My signal's gone mad, so I'm on 4G at the moment. So if it doesn't, if it starts messing up even more, then let me know. Sorry about that, guys.
That's cool. We're talking about the women's tag team match, and Dan thinks he would have changed his prediction, and I was saying, I'll just stuck with the same. I think the way to go is for Sasha and Bianca to split up and to actually feud leading to Mania, rather than be tag team champions or be their little friends or whatever they're doing. Because they're meant to be Mania opponents, not meant to be best friends. But would you change or would you stick?
Why did I pick before? I probably picked that they wouldn't win the titles, right?
No. So you and me both said that Sasha and Bianca were going to win the titles.
Yeah. Oh, what a difference a week, folks. I guess. Yeah, I'm really not confident about that. I mean, I don't want them to. I remember saying then I didn't want it to happen, but I just felt like it probably would weirdly go that way. But I really don't know. It's just another.
Oh.
No. I think we lost Scott again. We've got Matt Ball prediction though. He kind of thinks the same as kind of me. He thinks that they can't do the tag champs become challengers, at Mania again. It's been done, obviously, like we said, with Shawn Michaels and John Cena.
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio. It's a bit overdone now, isn't it? Surely.
So. Yeah, but apparently, an interesting thing about that. So the Cena Michaels one was the first time that two tag team champions have faced off for like a singles title at Mania as well. So obviously the Eddie and Rey match, they had their match at Mania, but it's the Cena HBK match. And actually, just talking about that, if you want to hear my thoughts on the Cena HBK match, I'm going to be doing a video very soon, which is a retrospect. So the first ever WrestleMania I went to was WrestleMania 23. And the main event of that was obviously Shawn Michaels versus, and they said Triple H then. It was meant to be Triple H, John Cena. But obviously Triple H getting injured meant it changed to Shawn Michaels versus John Cena, which I was delighted about. I've made no secret that Shawn Michaels is my favorite wrestler of all time. To see him main event in WrestleMania was incredible. But there is an article up on rebnoise.com, which I wrote a fair while ago now, but I'm going to be like redoing that as a video format. And then, maybe touch a little bit on the Hall of Fame that year, which was headlined by the late, great Dusty Rhodes. And then obviously, as I say, there was some really interesting matches on that card as well. Some real bangers, but as I say, for now, obviously we will still be talking about WrestleMania 37, not 23 now. So 14 years later. and we could well see tag team champions facing off again for a major championship.
I really, really hope not.
Yeah, I hope not either. I don't like when they do that. And, we're going to discuss in more detail, I think, me and Dan, about the women's tag belts. And, well, we've mentioned it a lot of times. There's a lot of problems with them. But it's annoying because the fix them is so simple. And just they don't need to do the champs fighting each other at Mania, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, definitely. There's no point in it, really. But, it could even be that they win it just to transition it on to somebody else. But then I think they've booked themselves into a corner. Really booked themselves into a corner.
It's like last month. We weren't sure if they were doing it for a reason. Are they why do it? You know what I mean? I know WWE seem to love doing this weird stuff where rivals become partners, but last month they didn't do it. It was like, oh, okay, that's just that one thing, and then it's like, oh, but they're doing it again. I think that's what made me think they were going to win the titles, because I was like, oh, they're doing that match again for a reason, So, other than that, what is the reason? And I think it might have been you, Lucas, that said the reason would be is because it's now the chance for one of them to turn heel. I think you were saying Sasha. Or it might have been Rob that said that, or Dan, one of you said it. And I remember thinking,
all bases.
I was like, actually, that is probably a better option.
It wasn't you that said it, was it?
It was. No. But yeah, I do think that is the better option. If there's got to be a reason. It's easy either for them to win it, to do this weird going to Mania with the titles rubbish, or for someone to turn on the other. I guess all fingers would usually point to Sasha for that. I wouldn't mind seeing Belair as the heel. I think she's a great heel, but I don't think at this moment in time that's the story you want to tell, really. So I think you need Bianca being the sympathetic babyface after winning the Rumble, and Sasha playing the heel by default, really.
Yeah, I think the only way. So obviously they've put themselves into a corner as such, because it's going to be one of those things where if they do lose, then they're going to have to pretty much pin either their women's champion or the challenger that they're trying to make look strong.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about last time.
And it's it just makes no sense. You think they've got other people in there. They've got Natalya and Tamina, who they actually were attacking them after the matches.
Someone's in the fast lane there. Who was that?
That's one of the boy racers going down a 20-mile-an-hour road outside.
I didn't realise the fast lane to WrestleMania went past your house. Flipping heck.
Yep, definitely in the fast lane here. And they're probably going to get away with not getting a speeding ticket. You watch.
Of course.
Send the podcast to the police.
Yeah,
look, evidence.
I haven't got a dash cam, but if you go on this, it'll get us a couple more views at least.
Yeah, subscribe while you're here. We're helping fight crime, okay?
Yeah, crime fighters as well. But yeah, so we have got one more match left to talk about, and that is the main event of the evening, which is for the Universal Championship. The big dog, Roman Reigns, taking on Daniel Bryan, with special guest enforcer as Edge. So this was a pretty much, I'm just going back, it was a Whoa, I thought this was actually going to be all of us saying the same thing here, but me and Lucas say Roman Reigns to win. Rob said Daniel Bryan to win. And Scott, you said this is going to be a no contest or draw. And the cause of that was going to be the enforcer, which you used your bonus point on. Would anyone change what they said?
Well, anytime you put a bonus point in there, you question whether or not you should change what you've said. But
has it changed for you now? You know who the enforcer is.
Do you remember when we were talking about? I said it doesn't matter. Yeah, I was saying it doesn't matter who it's going to be. I think the same thing is going to happen. Really, I think it's either going to be that Edge accidentally tries to stop something and keep the peace, or if it was Jey Uso, he'd try and get involved, and there'd be there we go. Go get him, boys. Go get him.
Go on the po-po. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the London soundtrack for you, and you even get blue disco lights as well.
Beautiful. I don't know where I was. Right, I was in the
Talking
fast lane to
about
something.
enforcers.
Right, Enforcer, yes. If it's Uso, like, then he's gonna like mess around, and it's gonna lead to Daniel Bryan kind of unfairly being, like, basically I thought it was gonna be a draw, didn't I? Like, there'd be some sort of shenanigans, and it'd either be because Edge is trying to stop Jey Uso, or because Jey Uso is the one that's the enforcer doing the action. So I still kind of think the same thing. I'm not sure about the draw, but I do think it won't be conclusive. I remember Rob said that he thought Bryan was going to win, and that's how Bryan gets into the Mania thing. Again, if you haven't got time to watch our whole preview, guys, once this stream's done, just before the show starts, go check out on the main Rebellious Noise channel, where we go a little bit in depth on Daniel Bryan being in the main event for Mania, which I think we all agree probably is the best thing to do. But so I feel like they've got to go that way, and surely they know that. So somehow they're going to get there. I don't know if it's through Bryan winning, because I don't think Roman Reigns can go into Mania without the title and come out without the title as well. I think he's either going in or out with it. Shake it all about, like. And I think he's more likely
as well.
Of course, I think he's more likely to be going in with it and then coming out without it because Edge has won it. So if that's the case, then I don't see Bryan winning tonight. It's either going to be Roman or that draw, no contest, like I was saying. But it probably will be the main event, actually, now that there's nothing really going on the Raw side. Yeah, so I don't know if you can really end it with a kind of... Because I was looking at it like, oh, yeah, and straight after it'll be resolved, they'll say, don't worry, Daniel, you're going to get in the main event of WrestleMania. But they won't do that. That would happen on SmackDown, wouldn't it? So that's what's making me think, no, it's just going to be straight up. Roman's going to win, maybe because of shenanigans. So I would probably change for that. I think Roman's going to win because of shenanigans, and they will be resolved on SmackDown.
And currently, as we're speaking, Shane McMahon is in the doctor's room getting his knee looked at. So apparently got injured earlier on in his warm-up. They showed a nice picture.
So maybe they're not going to do the match.
Oh, the match isn't happening then. Oh.
So and that's all week they've had an idea of something like that, and that's why they've been on and off about it and thought, well, what we can do is just on the night explain it.
To be fair, though, the match not happening for me is the best possible scenario. Because, because
it doesn't need to happen yet.
I want to see it at Mania. Well, not want to, but I mean, I'd prefer to see it at Mania.
It's more of a Mania match than
in terms of the Reigns and Bryan thing, and I'm looking at now the pre-show. Obviously, you got Seth Rollins obviously on the pre-show as well. Stuff that he's been doing with Shinsuke and Cesaro. So and this is coming. Some of this is coming again from Matt Ball, who he can't seem to get into the comments for some reason. But he's basically...
Is he on YouTube? I think the comments come from YouTube, aren't they? So
yeah, he can't seem to get into them.
Are you signed in, Matt?
I don't know. He's a boomer for this kind of stuff. I don't know why.
Well, thanks for joining us anyway.
But yeah, like the things about this match though, he thinks that perhaps if Bryan was to win, or if they're going to put Bryan into the match at WrestleMania, it might be to kind of ease the workload on Edge, so there's not that kind of high expectation of him to have this, 20-minute match against Roman Reigns. And he also feels very strongly that look at that suit.
That is a suit and a half.
Oh yeah.
Well, is he wearing a suit?
That is a masterpiece.
That's beautiful. Look at that. He looks like a cow.
Yeah, it's a beautiful suit. And people are watching and who's this new guy? No, I've never seen this guy before. But anyway, the interviewer. But anyway, Ball was mentioned, and now you say it, now he said it, I saw it too. Like potentially, could they be looking to set up, Rollins or Nakamura, getting into the main event picture following WrestleMania? Because if you think about the SmackDown sort of things, obviously, if Reigns wins, then that's great. That's cool. But he needs new challenges. He's faced Kevin Owens 3 times. He's beaten Edge. He's beaten Daniel Bryan twice. If Edge wins, obviously he's a part-timer. So potentially we could not have the belt maybe until SummerSlam. If he followed to kind of Brock Lesnar kind of way that he did things, or definitely not until the next pay-per-view anyway. So you would need obviously to have the other main eventers such as Seth ready to go into a title picture again. But I've always thought that Seth's time's been done with that. I don't know. I don't know you guys feel, but I just feel he's not going to get that kind of opportunity again. I definitely don't think Shinsuke is. Like bloody hell, they're not going to make that mistake again. It's not 2018, but. Seth, I don't know
where Seth. I really don't know where Seth goes from it. Like I don't. As much as I enjoy Seth, I don't want him in the title picture. Like it's crowded as it is. Like for me, like I want to see, like on SmackDown, you've got obviously, and that's where he is. You've got Reigns, which I want to be in it. Edge, who I wish was doing something else, but I'm happy to see Edge back. And Daniel Bryan, who, he's always a dream. You always want Bryan in it, So, but I mean, Seth can't really go into. I mean, unless Edge. Maybe that's it. Maybe they go Edge Seth after this. Maybe Edge does win it, and maybe not after this, but after Mania. Edge Seth after Mania. I guess that makes sense. I could see them working against each other quite well. But I don't particularly want Seth. I don't know. It's not a thing against Seth. I don't know what it is. I think the past. Like for me, when you look at Seth's like time with it at WrestleMania 35 compared to Seth winning it at 31. They are two different things for me. 31, I was like, this is incredible. And 35 I was like, oh, you're the champ for the other show, are you? Yeah. Like that's literally like I was more interested in Bryan and Kofi. Like I wasn't fussed about Seth being champ. And I think there's still the danger of that happening again.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
The thing is now.
US title match starting.
Oh, we got US title match on the pre-show.
Right.
Yeah, we were right.
Pre-show.
Okay.
Hopefully, end of execution. But in terms of this now, what you realise is how long some of these guys are staying in the company for, and that's and they're not getting kind of the opportunity they need, and so they're not positioned in that play. Because in the day, you look at Seth's reign now between WrestleMania 31 and WrestleMania 37, he was winning the World Championship at 31, and at 37, he's so far removed from that picture. We compare that to back in the 80s of Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan was in the main event of WrestleMania 1 and in the main event of WrestleMania 6, 7, 8, 9, and then went on to the main event in another company for many years. So it's very difficult. And you think that Seth Rollins had more WrestleMania matches than Stone Cold Steve Austin, than The Rock. People who we associate as being like some of the best of all time in terms of WrestleMania.
Baffling, isn't
Seth, Reigns, and a few others, most likely, probably people like Kofi, to be fair, as well, and The Miz, have most likely had more WrestleMania matches than some of the best of all time. So it's difficult. I think Seth might get another chance. I'm just watching this video package as well of Ali and Riddle. I think definitely that they can definitely go, but it's just every time the camera pans to not being in the ring, and I see those awful masks. It's just like, oh, why? Ali and Riddle could really be a really good match, but just not with the goons around.
That funky entrance with a weird camera. Whoa! Yeah, right.
I bet Kevin Dunn loves this entrance. He loves the camera cut. That man.
Chaos! Everybody, let's look like this chaos here. All right, if you say so, mate.
So we are off. As this match is about to start, we are officially now, I guess, on the road, on the fast lane to WrestleMania.
We're in it.
We are well and truly in it. But don't forget, like we mentioned before, this is what we have coming up tomorrow. We have 11 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, the fast lane hangover with Scott. Obviously, a bit disappointed that he's not got some of these bits from a well-known supermarket.
Lucas mentioned it like 5 times already on this episode.
Well, hopefully it's going to get sorted then, Lucas, mate. Hopefully I'm going to get my refund.
Send someone out for one, mate, in the morning.
And these times are just rough, by the way, guys. This is the first time we're doing a lot of these shows, so we'll see how it goes in the morning. And hangover is key here because we do watch it very late in the UK, so we'll see how it goes in the morning. But these are what we're aiming for.
I suppose this is going to be a little bit easier because obviously this is starting an hour earlier than usual in the UK.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, exactly that. Maybe it's going to be tough, but yeah.
So as I say, we have the Fastlane Hangover with Scott scheduled for Monday at 11 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time. Lucas will be hosting Fastlane in a Nutshell on Monday at 2 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. We are going to be busy boys on Monday because then we are all back. Hopefully, Rob will be joining us for the RN Pro Wrestling channel's recap and review of
deep dive, mate. Yeah.
Fastlane. That will be us going. I think we're going live for this as well.
Yeah, we're going
First
live
time we're doing the recap and review live. So hopefully we won't go long with this. But yeah, hopefully we will entertain you guys with our thoughts on what happened at the show. And then as of Saturday, 8 a.m. Greenwich Mean Time, you have to be
It's
up
back,
super
baby.
early. It is back. I am going to be laying the Smackdown on everything happening at Fastlane, Raw, Smackdown, and NXT. We are going to be going all the way through, hopefully weekly with these, and I'm going to be giving my thoughts weekly on what's going on with Raw, SmackDown, NXT. Obviously, I'm not sure what's going to happen over WrestleMania because there is going to be one heck of an edition for WrestleMania week.
Yeah.
I think there's about 12 shows, I think, on that week. That may be a slight exaggeration, but it may not. But
No,
yeah,
I think you're about right, mate.
It's something ridiculous like that because I think they've just chucked an NXT UK show in there as well. So you've got
on the same night as another show. I think on the same night as NXT, right?
Yeah. So you've got Raw. You've got so it's Raw on the Monday, Hall of Fame on the Tuesday, NXT on Wednesday. I think NXT on the network on Wednesday. Then NXT on I think it's Peacock on the Thursday, along with the NXT UK show. And then on Friday is obviously SmackDown, Saturday WrestleMania, Sunday WrestleMania, Monday Raw. Damn, that's gonna be long. But anyway,
Tuesday NXT, apparently NXT on Tuesday as well. It's moving.
NXT on Tuesday as well.
Apparently.
After WrestleMania, yeah. So there we go.
We're gonna be busy, boys.
We are indeed. But yeah, we just want to say, a massive thank you to everyone that's joined us on these shows.
Please subscribe if you haven't. Come back.
Yeah.
Come back.
If you haven't already, as I say, like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to tune in for all the live shows. We would just like to say, obviously, as I say, a massive thank you. Don't forget, check out the videos that we've done previously. There's a lot more wrestling content coming up. And don't forget, although this is the Pro Wrestling channel, you can still get all your other Rebellious Noise stuff over on the Rebellious Noise YouTube. And you'll see videos there for where we're discussing what's going on with the channel, where we're splitting up into different channels for different specialities, so to speak. So for now, I've been Dan, he's been Scott, he's been Lucas. We want to say massive thank you to you guys. Enjoy Fastlane, and let's see who is going to be top come, 3 hours time, should we say?
Look at me at the top, mate. It better be like that this time tomorrow. I'm telling you. I am going after that trophy. It'll better be.
It's not £10 of gold that you're going after. It's probably about 10 ounces.
How much did it cost?
Probably less than £10, probably.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So anyway, that's it from us, guys. We just want to say, obviously, a massive thank you to all of you guys.
Thanks for all the comments tonight, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the comments. And yeah, obviously, thank you guys for joining us. We will see you very, very soon. Take care. Welcome to the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel. On this channel, we bring you some great content from inside and outside of the squared circle. We will go through and offer some in-depth analysis of the biggest events of the year, as well as bringing you exclusive interviews with some of the industry's biggest names. There will also be live show reviews, in-depth features, and podcasts. So make sure you give that subscribe button a slam so you don't miss any of the action.